Let's talk about the WNBA. They have made an offer that the players probably best not refuse at this point. It is a sizable offer. It is a step up from what was already a very lucrative offer that was, roughly almost 4 times what they're getting paid right now. Something right around, it was around $1 million a year on a Supermax. Some came out and said it was $850,000. The WNBA is stepping up their game now.
The WNBA just threw a massive curveball, tabling a new collective bargaining agreement proposal that is, without a doubt, unlike anything the league has ever put on the table. We are talking about salaries absolutely skyrocketing into a new stratosphere. For the first time in the entire history of the league, maximum contracts are poised to break the 7-figure barrier. Just imagine that for a second. Superstars like Caitlin Clark could soon be earning over $1 million a year. A number that was pure fantasy just a few years ago. But, and this is a huge but, there's a major catch in the details that's stirring up some serious controversy among the players. This single deal has the power to reshape the future of women's basketball forever. So I've got to ask you, and I really want you to drop a comment below. Do you think the WNBA players should jump on this historic raise and sign the deal? Or should they hold out, play hardball, and fight for even better terms on that all-important revenue sharing? Let me know, because the WNBA just made a move that absolutely nobody saw coming, presenting a new CBA offer that is designed to fundamentally change the entire financial landscape of women's basketball. This isn't just some minor incremental bump in salaries that we see every few years. No, this is a complete and total transformation. For the very first time, the maximum salary is set to blast past $1 million. Let that number sink in. Top-tier players in the WNBA could be earning over $1 million per year. That has never ever happened before. This is truly historic.
Now officially over $1 million. Now, part of this is, and this is going to be interesting because $1 million or over $1 million sound a lot better 6 weeks ago before the emergence of Project B and actual WNBA players signing with Project B for what has already been revealed, a minimum of $2 million. And I can tell you right now, Gumake, Alyssa Thomas, and Jonquel Jones got more than $2 million.
Now, before everyone starts popping champagne corks and celebrating, there's a whole lot more we need to untuck here. Because the devil is in the details. The previous collective bargaining agreement, the one they're operating under now, was originally set to expire on October, recognizing they needed more time to hash things out. The league and the players' union smartly agreed to a 30-day extension, pushing the deadline to November 3rd. This extension gave both sides some critical breathing room to really figure out what a new modern deal could and should look like. And it seems the WNBA used that time to cook up an offer they believed would be too good for the players to refuse. According to the reports that are leaking out, this new CBA proposal would kick in with the 2026 season and include some absolutely staggering salary increases. For the younger players, those with 0 to 2 years of experience, the minimum salary would jump to $2 million. That right there is a substantial life-changing increase from what they're making now. But for the veterans, players with 3 or more years of experience, the minimum would soar to over $4 million. Think about that. That's more than quadrupling the previous minimums for established players. These aren't just small tweaks. These are transformative figures for the rank-and-file players who make up the backbone of every team. And then there's the max salary, which would exceed a whopping $1.1 million per team member. But here's the most critical part. Multiple players on a single roster could earn that maximum. This is a huge departure from how max salaries often work in other sports, where only 1 or 2 superstars can command that top-tier money. In this WNBA proposal, a team could load up with multiple million-dollar players, which is revolutionary. It means teams could actually assemble legitimate championship rosters, where several stars are all compensated at the absolute highest level. On top of all that, over the course of the CBA's duration, all these salary figures would continue to increase, providing consistent, meaningful raises throughout the entire agreement. This is exactly how salary progression is supposed to work. Players aren't just getting a one-time bonus and then stagnating. They're getting annual increases that keep pace with inflation and the league's explosive growth. That's the hallmark of responsible labor negotiation. The impact on Caitlin Clark, specifically, would be monumental. As one of the premier players in the league, she would immediately be eligible for that maximum salary. She could be earning over $1 million annually, a level of compensation that would have been completely unimaginable for a women's basketball player just a few short years ago. The very fact that she could reach that milestone so early in her career shows you just how much the landscape has shifted, and frankly how much her own star power has directly driven this incredible change in the league.
Exciting news just recently about the new offer from the WNBA to the players with a max salary of $1.1 million that goes up each year of the contract, plus a higher league minimum at $220,000. So all really, really good news. Things are trending up in that way. Now, we still have one major problem, at least one major problem. And in all actuality, this is what is stopping the deal from getting done right here. It's in black and white. You can see it. This is what is stopping the deal from getting done.
But here's where things get complicated. The WNBA, the powerful players union, has laid out a list of demands that go far beyond just bigger paychecks. They are fighting for charter flights, which is a massive quality of life issue. This means players would finally fly on private planes between games, instead of dealing with the grind and delays of commercial flights like they currently do. They're also demanding better benefits, improved roster size regulations, and significant changes to the controversial prioritization rule, which would give players more control over their own schedules and much-needed time off. These are all incredibly important issues that affect the day-to-day well-being and professional lives of the athletes. Issues that go beyond just money.
We know all of that stuff. This is where we got to get to. The November 19th update. Okay? This is what is stopping the...
However, despite all those important quality of life improvements, the number one top-line concern for the union remains a revenue-sharing model that is directly tied to the league's growth. This, right here, is the big one. The union isn't satisfied with just getting fixed salary increases. They want a system where salaries automatically grow right alongside the league's revenue. And when you think about it, that makes perfect sense. If the league is bringing in more money from TV deals, sponsorships, and ticket sales, shouldn't the players, the very people generating that revenue, see a proportional increase in their own compensation? That is the fundamental core argument. Right now, under the current agreement, salaries go up by a fixed 3% annually. That's it. It doesn't matter if the league's revenue doubles or triples. Salaries only inch up by that predetermined 3%. The union, rightly so, thinks that's fundamentally unfair. Players currently receive only about 9% of all revenue generated by the league. Now compare that to the NBA, where players get a massive slice of the pie, somewhere between 49% and 51% of all revenue. The gap is absolutely enormous. The union is arguing that women's basketball players deserve a revenue-sharing percentage that is much closer to what their NBA counterparts receive. The WNBA's new offer, despite its historic salary numbers, reportedly keeps this old fixed-rate system in place. So, the league is essentially saying yes to groundbreaking raises but a hard no to sharing the upside of future growth. They're offering a massive predetermined raise, but one that's completely detached from how profitable the league becomes. The union's position is clear. We appreciate the increase, but we also demand a piece of the rapidly growing pie. This creates an incredibly difficult choice for the players. On one hand, the salary increases are genuinely historic. A minimum salary more than tripling for younger players is massive. Maximum salaries more than quintupling is enormous. These are raises that could change lives and establish real generational wealth for athletes. On the other hand, rejecting this offer in hopes of getting revenue sharing is a huge gamble. What if negotiations stall? What if the league digs in its heels and walks away from the table? The stakes couldn't be higher because without a new CBA, the entire league grinds to a halt. The league cannot conduct the upcoming expansion draft. It cannot handle free agency, and it cannot hold the 2026 WNBA draft. The entire season cannot proceed without a new CBA. Both sides are feeling the immense pressure to get a deal done quickly, or the 2026 season could be seriously delayed or even disrupted. Time is running out, with the deadline looming on November 30th. After that, the league could face a work stoppage. This timing is especially interesting because it comes right after Alyssa Thomas and Nneka Ogwumike signed with Project B, a new Saudi-backed women's league that's offering competitive salaries and lucrative off-season opportunity. These high-profile signings are a clear signal that real alternatives to the WNBA now exist. This gives players incredible leverage. The WNBA knows that if they don't offer competitive compensation, their elite players could defect. Project B is offering high salaries, equity stakes, and an 11-week global schedule, which is incredibly attractive. Add in other alternatives like Unrivaled, and you see that the market is exploding. This leverage is crucial. The WNBA's historic offer is, in part, a direct response to this new competitive pressure. They are trying to keep their stars happy and locked into the league. But the union's argument for revenue sharing is so compelling when you look at the league's trajectory. Viewership is up, attendance is soaring, and media rights deals are getting richer. Players like Caitlin Clark are driving that growth. And it's only logical that they should benefit proportionally. The current system with its 9% share compared to the NBA's 50% just feels fundamentally broke. Ultimately, this negotiation represents a watershed moment. The WNBA is offering compensation that was science fiction 5 years ago, which is undeniable progress. The question is whether the players feel that's enough, or if they should risk it all to push for the fundamental change of revenue sharing. Both sides have legitimate points, and the outcome will define professional women's basketball for a generation. If you think the players should take this deal, go ahead and hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe for more WNBA coverage. Now comment below, what do you think is more important right now? These massive guaranteed salary increases, or a long-term revenue sharing model?